I'm Christina Westling with the Plainfield Junior Women's Club, and I get the privilege of welcoming you all to the State of the Village event. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. This is our first time hosting this event, and we are really excited for the opportunity to bring community members, organizations together in this beautiful venue to hear about and celebrate all the wonderful things that have transpired over the last year for Plainfield, as well as learn about what's on the roadmap for our future. We're looking forward to an engaging and fun event, but before that, we wanted to take just a few moments to share a little bit about our organization for those of you who may not be familiar with the Plainfield Junior Women's Club. So if I could direct your attention to the screen, we are going to play a brief video.
Plainfield Junior Women's Club is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to community improvement by enhancing the lives of others through volunteer services. PJWC is a subsidiary of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, one of the largest service organizations in Illinois. Since its inception in 2008, Plainfield Junior Women's Club has raised over $450,000 and supported hundreds of local organizations and individuals while recording thousands of service hours. Our signature events raise much-needed funds for local charities, as well as our service-based scholarship fund. They also shine a spotlight on Plainfield's local businesses while providing some quite memorable moments. We are women from all walks of life with a common goal and passion: to make a positive impact in our community. We are dedicated to helping victims of domestic violence, those suffering from food insecurity, those in need. We take care of our neighbors, we take care of our members, and we form lasting bonds and friendships along the way. We are PJWC.
I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our members that are in the audience today and all the work and effort that was put in coordinating the event and bringing it all together. So thank you, ladies. And also, I want to extend a sincere thanks to each and every one of you. By just simply being here today, you are contributing to our ability to make a greater impact on the community and those in need. So thank you. With that, it is now, yes, we can clap it up for that. Yes, thank you. So with that, it is now my honor to introduce our speaker. If he's not scared to join me, I think one of the last times I saw our mayor, I was screaming at him for outbidding me at an auction. So not my best moment, but if you could please join me in welcoming to the stage Mayor John Argadelis.
Well, thank you all, and welcome. You know, you have to script these things on these events. I like to speak more extemporaneously, but I have to say, look at this crowd today. You know, I'm really astounded at each of you taking the time to be here and to take interest in Plainfield, and for many of you to support our efforts in making the best Plainfield. A funny thing happened to me last October. The Plainfield Junior Women's Club invited me to their Halloween party. They looked a lot different at that party than they do today. But I can tell you, they went all out. They had super elaborate costumes. One guy was dressed as Captain Crunch. That was really funny. And two of the ladies, one of whom is here today at least, were dressed as the Shining Sisters, those twin sisters. And we had some fun pictures from that. Well, when we were looking for a new host for the State of the Village, my first thought did turn to the PJWC, and I have to say you brought your A game. And I mean that sincerely, in organizing what is by far the most professional, profitable, and well-attended event ever. Thank you. There's a lot of women who make up the Plainfield Junior Women's Club, but the team that worked hard on this event consisted of Allie Rutkowski, Angel Whitefleet, Brooke Simpson, Christina Westling, Dana Silver, Pam Shaling, and Shelby Hammond, and first round of drinks is on me when this is all done, okay? I have a strong feeling that this is just the beginning of a great partnership. So, but look around you folks. Look at this beautiful venue that Glenn De La Rosa and his team have created here in Plainfield. I grew up here in a farm town of 3,000 people. I would never have imagined we'd have such an elegant, beautiful and well-run banquet facility here in Plainfield as we have in the farmhouse. And Glenn and his team, have been so generous and so accommodating to make sure that this event would be the best ever. And I can't thank you enough for your graciousness and your hospitality. We worked, I know the ladies from the Junior Women Club worked a lot with Haley Baer, Kylie Williams, Maddie Methven, and all of you at all times. The professionalism and the accommodation for the needs and requests was just first rate here at the farmhouse. On behalf of the PJWC, we would like to thank all of our sponsors, especially our platinum sponsors, Silver Bullet Inc., CareLink Home Health and Link Home Care, Deza Design Studio, Caton Commercial Real Estate Group, and the farmhouse. Thank you for sponsoring this event today. At our level of government, I've found that most people are willing to de-emphasize party label and national politics, and most of us are dedicated to simply getting the job done. Thinking politically is sometimes, as I would say, a necessary evil, but I've enjoyed working together with each of you in serving our residents, and I want to thank in particular some of the elected officials who are here, and some of them might still be coming in the doors, but I'll read your names whether you made it here or not. But our State Senator, Meg Capel, she's really served us well in Springfield. She has brought all sorts of state funding here to help our police and help our town and do so many things capital improvements-wise. She's been a great gem. Our Will County Executive, Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant, she's also been a joy to work with. Somebody... Oh, there you are. She's here. She made it. I see you're taking your coat off and you're Greek late. Good job there. Lauren Ferry Staley, our county clerk. I see Park District representatives, Heath Wright and Carlo Capalbo and Bob Collins make it. Josh is here. Josh Hendricks is here as well. Carl Gilmore, Alicia Malik, and Amy Hartley from the library. I saw Lisa Pappas here, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, but our Plainfield Library is well represented as well. Forest Reserve, Ralph Schultz is somewhere maybe. Forest Reserve was signed to be here. Doug Pryor and Kayla Sorensen are here from the Will County CD. And we have the Honorable Judge John Anderson. He's running for appellate court, and if he is elected this fall, he will be the first appellate court justice from Will County. Is that correct, Judge? That is correct. So he will... We have Colette Stafford here as well. She's running for Will County Circuit Judge. Our school district is well represented. Glenn Wood, the very capable Glenn Wood, is here. There he is, okay. I hope I did not miss anyone, but together, we've accomplished a lot by all of us focusing on our community first and last. Speaking of Glenn, and I think this is later in the speech, but I'm thinking about it right now, I've gotten to know Glenn Wood at the school district very, very well over the last few years. Working with him and his dedication and what they bring to the school district. All of us know that Plainfield, and the reason that people want to be here, one foremost reason is the high quality schools, and if anything, they just keep getting better and better under Glenn Wood's stewardship, and we really appreciate what you do for us. Richard Kiefer, Village Board Trustee, made it here today, and he's a newer trustee, but he's really been contributing a lot. Your professional and objective efforts on the Plan Commission prior to board, and now on our board represent a great contribution, Rich. We appreciate it. We want to thank our Plan Commission and Historic Preservation Commission for all their work. I see Brian Minnis, our Plan Commission chairperson, is here today. Thank you, Brian. Somewhere I saw you. And I would say last on the list, but probably foremost in our minds, is our great staff of professional people who work for our village. Our village administrator, Josh Blakemore, is here. Assistant Village Administrator, Director of Management Services, Tracy Pleckham. Village Clerk, Michelle Gibbous, is here. She really runs the village. It's not anybody else. But everyone checks with Michelle first. Is this okay? But anyhow, Human Resources Director, Mary Harris. Community Relations Director, Amy DeBoni. And Amy, we have to give a special thank you to, because Amy's the one who sets up these sort of events. And she even put up with me submitting some last-minute changes and edits to the speech, and she still smiles. But Amy, thank you. You do a great job. Our IT department, Director James Castrandas and Angel Vivanco. Economic Development Director Jake Melrose, highly respected by everybody who talks with him in the development world. Police Chief Robert Miller. You know, when people left the village, many times the thought was, wow, we're losing these quality people. You know, Alan Persons, who was a great public works director, retired. Chief John Konopek retired. But I looked at it as an opportunity, and it was an opportunity to not only meet the great people that were in the shoes to begin with, but to even take it a step further. And Chief Miller, in all of our hearts, you've exceeded expectations. Thank you. We have our police commanders here, Anthony Novak and Zach Zeiderman and Kevin McQuaid. Our legal counsel, William Light. Planning Director John Prue, he's also the guy we turn to for institutional knowledge, because John has been at the village, I think, longer than almost anybody here. But when it's a question from 20 years ago and you want to know what happened, John's your guy. He'll tell you what that institutional knowledge is. Our building department chair, head Lonnie Spires. Our Public Works Director, Scott Threewitt, is here as well, and Management Analyst, Ashton Stipp, a young person who's doing a lot of great things for our village. But we all play a role in making what I call the best playing field. I can say with all sincerity that we have such a knowledgeable and professional staff that we can all truly count on. Straightforward, honest, and with the utmost integrity, residents, businesses, and developers all can count on a fair shake and an honest answer when working with our staff. And that's the only way we can do it. As long as I'm leading the charge, that's the only way we will do it. Because people appreciate, and that's why people want to work with Plainfield, when they get a straightforward, honest, professional staff that they can work with. So last round of applause for the staff here today. So now I got to get to more of the nuts and bolts of things here. But so a lot of topics going on here. We're going to talk about economic development, and certainly there's been a lot of that in Plainfield this past year, and we have a lot to celebrate. Businesses and retailers continue to find Plainfield an attractive place to locate, and we're especially excited about a couple new businesses who will soon be open on the Route 59 corridor. I know you've all heard Woodman's is coming to town, and that was one of the biggest Facebook posts I had, and people are super excited about that. I had never been to one, but people who've been to one say they're great stores, and it's certainly a great addition to Plainfield. Earlier this year, Woodman's announced that they would be joining the community. They were building a 240,000 square foot store at the northeast corner of 119th Street and Route 59. In addition to the food store, Woodman's plans to build a gas station, convenience store, car wash, and oil change center. For comparison's purposes, the Woodman's store is almost 100,000 square feet larger than Costco. The 36-acre site features 7 outlots, which are available for additional retail development. I understand they're open 24 hours a day, and being based in Wisconsin, I also heard yesterday they have the biggest cheese selection. You know, I'm not surprised by that. But on Route 59, south of town, we're really excited to have Hawk Auto. They'll be breaking ground soon. They're bringing 4 new dealerships to the village, just north of Rolfe Road. They have confirmed that 2 of the dealerships will be Cadillac and Volkswagen, and they hope to begin construction later this year. The project is expected to generate a significant amount of sales tax revenue for the village. You know, car dealerships are highly prized things to have. In addition to great sales tax revenue, it's a very clean use, It's something that we all like as a neighbor for the most part. They create great jobs, from executive jobs all the way down to mechanics and everybody in between. I shouldn't say it that way, but they create a lot of great jobs for people. So not only do they bring great sales tax revenue, but they create jobs for our residents. The village has also seen interest from national retailers and restaurants that are expanding in the village, including the new Taco Bell at Route 59 and Industrial Drive, which is under construction, Bell Tire, a new Dollar Tree opening soon near the Menards, a new Starbucks also opened this past year near Renwick Road. Prairie Creek, that development, which is north on 59, is nearly complete, with the animal care, and the new Aldi is hopefully going to open pretty soon. I see its construction's gone well. But as we continue to look for ways to diversify our revenues, our residents voted to direct the village board to allow for cannabis dispensaries, and our local businesses have advocated for a long time for video gaming. Both initiatives were approved by the village board. It is our duty to be responsive to our residents' voices and responsible to our businesses and what they need, not the other way around. And we've done that. When I talk about the dispensaries, I often talk about this, and I know some people have mixed feelings on cannabis sales, but it's legal in the state of Illinois. And we're not going to change people's habits by whether we have dispensaries in Plainfield or not. But that tax revenue that's going to other villages, paid for from Plainfield residents, will now stay home. And that's going to go straight to capital improvements, roadways, and bridges. And that money will help alleviate the tax burden on our homes. It's estimated that each dispensary will produce a conservative minimum of $300,000 per year in sales tax revenue. Downtown Plainfield. One of the most popular questions that I always receive is, what's opening in downtown Plainfield? I get all sorts of inquiries about, is there a spot for me or my business in downtown Plainfield? It's certainly become a destination. You should be aware that Altero Latin Fusion has opened. It's a family-opened restaurant with locations in Geneva, Wheaton, and Aurora. They recently opened across the Village Green in the old Front Street Cantina restaurant space. Their food's excellent, and the cocktails are very good as well. It's kind of funny, a few years back I was in Wheaton when they opened their Wheaton store, and casually I said, you know, you ought to be in Plainfield. And I don't take credit for that, but here they are, they're in Plainfield now. So the Major Threat Restaurant Group, Christina, I see you somewhere in here, they've taken over the former Tap House on Lockport Street, and they are going to be opening a new restaurant called Fused. And my understanding is the menu is going to be a very kind of a global, international menu of things from around the world. That'll be a nice, different venue for us. Something exciting is set to happen soon at the Opera House, we hope. I think we're close to this on this one, but it's been rumored about, and we hope they get the deal done there. I know there's a couple people in the room that are also hoping that deal gets done for other reasons, but our downtown has its own vibe. It's different from any other town. We're not Naperville or Yorkville or Joliet. We're Plainfield. And our residents and those from nearby towns find a trip to downtown Plainfield a destination for great food, drink, and events. Maintaining this vibe in our downtown is very important. We can't lose that. It's one of the key components of why people are attracted to our downtown. It's because it's kind of small town, and it's got a lot of amenities for a small town, and people like that, the setting that it's in. The Boulevard down on Route 30 near I-55, where principally anchored by the Costco, continues to have many options coming forward. I know our staff has been working very, very hard with the boulevards to make that as successful as possible. As many of you know, there are a lot of rumors out there. We recently approved the new Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant at the Boulevard. They're expected to break ground this year, and we hope, or they hope, for an early opening next year. We're looking forward to Panda Express, Auntie Anne's, Jamba Juice to open this year as well. And we've been working very hard with the developers to make those other rumors come true as well. So stay tuned, as we expect to have those users announced very, very soon. Our industrial corridor has been a top priority for us. Relieving and diversifying our tax base is so important. One of the things when I've been knocking on doors back when I was looking for votes was, my taxes on my home are too high. Well, how do you do it? It's hard for us to just cut services and not take care of our roadways and not do the things we do. So in the words of a politician from about 40 years ago, let's bake a bigger pie. So creating our industrial corridor is a top priority. Other communities have done so, greatly diversifying their real estate tax base, and again, taking the burden off the homeowner. One industrial realtor I spoke with describes Plainfield as, quote, the sweet spot for industrial development. Strong rents can be had here, great access to highways, and close to a plentiful labor supply. Strong interest continues in the Village Industrial Corridor with the 143rd Street West extension that is now under construction. BP Chill, a 400,000 square foot cold storage facility, is under construction south of the existing Midwest Warehouse Diageo Distribution Center. It's such a cool place, and that's a pun intended. It's actually one big refrigerator freezer, the entire building. It's a very interesting building, I would say. The BP Chill development has triggered the payment of $1.5 million in impact fees, which will go to traffic improvements, bike paths, and planning for our proposed Greenbelt. And as you know, for those who know me best, the Greenbelt really excites me. It's our effort that we are going to create a buffer of natural plantings between our industrial development and our homes, and creating new green space is something that's somewhat unusual. We've worked with the Conservation Foundation and others to help us plan how we can make this Greenbelt an amenity for us and a wildlife habitat. I really appreciate our industrial developers for supporting this Greenbelt. I know when it's been brought up in meetings, we'd like your help on this. They've not flinched. The industrial development world has said, sure, we'd like to help you with that. West of BP Chill, a top international third-party logistic company, DSV, is readying plans for its own 1.5 million square foot distribution facility. These three projects, Diageo, BP Chill, and DSV, are projected to generate more than $3.5 million in annual property tax revenue to local units of government. DHL Supply Chain has also started development on its site for a 1.2 million square foot facility at the southeast corner of Ridge Road and 143rd Street. And there's more in the pipeline. As industrial development continues to place land under contract, we'll be announcing a lot more development to come. Our first round of industrial development increased the percentage of our real estate taxes derived from industrial from 1.08% to 5.3.1%. With the additional industrial development being proposed, we'll continue to have the industrial development be a larger chunk of our real estate tax base, which shrinks the reliance on our homes for real estate taxes. Speaking of residential and homes, people continue to want to live in Plainfield. They're attracted by our quality of life, they're attracted by our great school district, and the residential market in Plainfield is thriving. In fact, Plainfield is one of the fastest growing communities in the entire state of Illinois. People want to live here. Over 390 new homes were permitted in 2023. The new Pulte subdivision, Bronk Farm, has built out multiple phases, and houses are selling at a strong pace. The village also approved Keller Farm, which is a 405-unit subdivision that will provide a mix of single-family housing and townhomes, along with an 8-acre commercial piece at Wallen Drive and Lockport Street. 2 new townhome projects are also moving forward, Autumn Glen and Lockley Park. That they will have a combined total of over 300 new townhomes. The multifamily apartment sector saw the New Seasons at Plainfield complete their construction and occupancy for their project, and it continues to be strong. I have to say, I saw Chris Coleman in the room here from Wingspan. He had a very successful development in 1630 apartment complex on Wallen Drive. It sold out, and for some reason, it was so popular in the marketplace that Chris was forced to sell it and make a profit on it, and we appreciate how that housing is something that people want. It's not about what we think they want, it's what the market wants. And people like Wingspan and other developments, Pulte, are providing what the market wants to Plainfield. And when we think of residential, many times there's that close the door behind me mentality. We don't want more houses or more kids in school and more traffic on our streets. But it's our homes and it's our residents that support everything we do in town. They support our businesses and retail. They support everything we do. So you know what? Nothing in life is perfect. If you want great businesses and great amenities, you have to have the number of people to do it. And you know, you're going to have a little traffic along with that. But we do our best to continue to build roads and improve roadways and intersections, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. So I think this is the time I'm supposed to pause, which is good timing for my voice. And we're going to show you a little bit of a video that shows a little bit more about what's going on in Plainfield. And I'm excited to see this video. Amy wouldn't let me take a sneak peek, so it's always a good show. And it's hard to believe that in my lifetime, Plainfield's grown from 3,000 people to 50,000, and all these things are occurring. It really is. And there's a couple other people here I know who are lifelong Plainfield residents, and I know we all marvel at how our town has grown and changed. Tracy couldn't be here today, I guess. I didn't see Tracy, but Tracy Pleckham is our management services, our finance director. She's been with the village almost 20 years, and she has seen us through the crisis and the crash of 08 and 9 and continues to steer the ship very well to make sure that we are financially sound at all times. Her and her team, in collaboration with our somewhat frugal village administrator, cast a watchful eye over our budget at all times. I called you Mr. Penny Pincher before, too. Josh is very careful with spending money, so that's a good thing. But as you can see, the village is off to a strong start in 2024 with residential, commercial, and industrial development. However, we're monitoring several issues and how they impact the village in the future. With the addition of Woodman's and Hawk Auto, the village sales tax revenues will continue to increase. Sales tax revenues for the second year in a row have outstripped our property tax revenues. So as we continue to grow the retail sector, again, that also relieves the burden on our homes. We're also proud of the fact that we have kept water rates steady for 3 years, even while absorbing increases from Illinois American Water. However, the development of the village's 5-year water and wastewater capital plan during the budget process illustrated that our water system has capital needs. At the forefront of this is the replacement of the Mill Street Water Tower, which is currently estimated to cost $6 million. We will be exploring options for funding these improvements, including grant opportunities, which we have been very successful in obtaining for a variety of projects in the past. So one of the things staff does very well, and we apply for every grant we can possibly apply for, and we're very successful in getting a lot of them, and that helps pay for a lot of our quality of life issues at the expense of the broader audience in the state of Illinois and not putting that burden just on our local people. And that's a great part of the hard work staff does to make sure that we are stretching our dollars as far as we can. We have a lot of capital projects, and you see it all the time, and roadways being built and different things throughout the village. A key part of the budget is the village's capital improvement program. We continue to heavily invest in capital projects, and the budget reflects our commitment with over $51 million budgeted in public improvements, with the majority of the projects being transportation related. The number is significantly higher than this due to the 143rd Street extension projects. Scott Threewitt and our Public Works team continue to strive to think and plan for 20 years down the road. I remember when Scott took the helm at Public Works after Alan's retirement, that's something we talked about, that 20 years from now, we want residents of Plainfield to say, wow, did they think ahead? And they really set us up well for the future. And I know Scott and his team are very, very dedicated to that. 143rd Street, at long last, the reroute of all this heavy traffic out of our downtown is coming to fruition. It's been a long time coming and exciting to see it happening. If you look west on 143rd Street, construction's underway, and east, it's also starting to take shape. You saw the trees removed and things like that. I often hear, so Scott's a pretty steady guy, but when he talked about the 143rd Street East at our meeting the other night, I could hear this excitement in his voice. It's like, wow, this big project we've been working on is finally happening. So on the whole corridor has a dedicated website if you want to learn more about it. It's called 143corridor.plainfieldil.gov. Has been developed, which provides an overview of the 143rd Street corridor and an up-to-date information on construction. The 143rd Street corridor improvements will complete the roadway connections from Ridge Road to Route 126. As outlined in the village's comprehensive plan and transportation mobility plan, the corridor improvements aim to alleviate congestion in the downtown area, expedite travel time, improve safety, and promote responsible growth, especially in spurring our industrial corridor. The east extension is going to extend from where CubeSmart is. 143rd Street will extend east to the current Route 126. Tree clearing has commenced. We just got the bids in. Fortunately, the numbers came in pretty much what we expected. No big surprises. The main construction contract was on an IDOT letting for April. The project will provide a direct route between Route 59 and Route 126 and is a key part of the village's transportation and mobility plan and regional transportation planning. Due to its significance in addressing regional transportation needs, the village has received $47.5 million in grant funding through various federal, state, and local funding partners. Once work begins this summer, construction is expected to continue through 2025 and hopefully be open by the end of 25. As I said, the west extension has also started. Its construction will go from Steiner Road out to Ridge Road. The village's contractor has completed the box culvert needed for the project and is currently working on drainage and detention ponds for the storm sewer system. In addition to the roadway extension, a new traffic signal is being installed at Ridge and 143rd Street. I know our Kendall County government friends are helping with that, as well as extension of water and sanitary mains all the way out to Ridge Road. The water main extension provides a much-needed water main loop to the existing western subdivisions, which allows for greater redundancy and fire flow capacity within the village's overall master water main network. I guess Chief Bonono understands fire flow capacity and all these things, but it's a good thing for the fire department, too. I hear resident concerns all the time about the construction of a major project, and that's to be expected. Whenever a major project is happening, it's negatively impacting some people. But I will say our Public Works Department is always responsive, and I'm impressed on how thoughtful, patient they've been with resident concerns, anticipating and accommodating those concerns. I can say Scott has gotten to know a few residents very, very well during this process, I think on a first-name basis. Our Old Town, the whole heart of the Old Town has been going under major construction. As part of a multi-year project in the Old Town area, utility work along Bartlett Avenue, Center Street, Amboy Street, Evans Street was completed this spring. The work includes new water mains, storm sewer, lead water service replacement. In addition to the village utility work, ComEd and Nicor have been relocating and modernizing their utilities in the project area. These improvements provided additional capacity and redundancy to the village's water distribution system and eliminated lead water service connections and modernized the stormwater management and drainage systems for the area. The final phase of Old Town North will begin this month. It includes the reconstruction of Lockport, Eastern, Center, and Bartlett Streets, along with Amboy and Evans. This phase includes a complete reconstruction of the roadways and sidewalks, new curb, gutter, planting of new trees, and landscape restoration. That majority of this work will be done this year. We will be having a meeting with the residents, an open public meeting with the residents in June. Look for that announcement to come where your questions can be answered. As this gets completed, these same improvements will commence south of Lockport Street and east of Route 59 until all of the older portions of town have been updated. This has been a monumental project. We started by the Village Green, west of town, and Arnold Street areas, and moved east, and it's been very disruptive at times, but for the large part, people have understood and been patient, because at the end of the day, we have modern sewer and water systems and updated roads in all of the old part of town. The village remains committed to maintaining the roadway network through the street improvement program, which includes roadway resurfacing and concrete repairs to sidewalks and curbs throughout the entire village. So we get a professional report every year, and it tells us how our roads are holding up and what's deteriorating and what needs improvements. And the good news is we have budgeted tremendous sums of capital to make sure that we stay ahead of the game, because we all know the longer you let something deteriorate, the more expensive it will become to improve it. So Public Works and the village have continued to spend a lot of money to make sure our roads never get too far out of shape where it's going to cost us so much more to improve them. This year, neighborhoods Pheasant Chase, Quail Run, Golden Meadows, Riviera Estates, crossings at Wolf Creek North, Riverwalk Court, and portions of Ridge, 135th, and Naperville Road, and the frontage road will all be re-asphalted. In total, approximately 28 lane miles were completed in the $5.4 million program. This year's program includes a similar scope of work. We're now underway in Grand Park. Other areas will include Arbor Creek, the Streams, Spring Hill, Highview, Prairie Ponds, Dunmore Estates, and sections of Essington Road and 127th Street for a total of 35 lane miles and $5.3 million. I know that some people are very concerned about 127th Street with the road. The bridge has deteriorated greatly there and is closing down. We will have some announcements and information on all of that coming very soon to let everybody know how we're going to handle getting that bridge up and running as soon as possible. Indian Boundary Road, that work has begun on replacing the culvert and the tree clearing with new utilities, construction of new culverts, connecting sidewalks, approach roadways, and streamback stabilization will begin at the beginning of June once the posted detour route is in place. Construction there is expected to be completed later this year. And I'll make a little aside here. So many of you may not know why it's called Indian Boundary Road, but in 1832, the federal government, the Native Americans ceded a 20-mile strip south from Lake Michigan, southwest from Lake Michigan, to the pioneers that were settling here. And Indian Boundary Road marks the northern border of that cession of land. So that's where the name came from. So if you were west of Indian Boundary Road, you were in Native American country. So just pull that out at a cocktail party sometime. Our riverfront. We have a lot of riverfront improvements coming. The North Riverfront Trail extension was completed last year and provides an extension of the trail system under Lockport Street. The project also included a council ring, scenic river overlook, and pollinator garden. Approximately $400,000 was provided in grant funding for this project through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and the ComEd Open Lands Program. As we continue to work on implementing the various aspects of the Riverfront Master Plan, we will see two major projects under construction at the riverfront this year. The Lower DuPage River Watershed Coalition's $2.25 million river restoration project begins this summer. The goal of this project is to improve the in-stream habitat and diversify flow patterns to support a healthy aquatic community. The project also includes stabilizing the riverbank and improving the riparian habitat. In addition, the village received an open space lands acquisition and development grant from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and will be constructing active and passive pergolas with seating, trail connections, and interpretive signage just south of Lockport Street. While sometimes these things seem a little less serious than roadways and bridges, they're just as important to us because quality of life and why people are living in Plainfield is to have these kinds of amenities as well. The village continues to move forward with the completion of the Springbank Trail, which will provide a continuous pedestrian path from south of Renwick Road and Springbank subdivision all the way north to Lockport Street in the downtown area. This project includes a conversion of two existing railroad culverts to pedestrian underpasses, existing pathways, and construction of new pathways to complete this regional path. So people from all the way down in Springbank will be able to stay on a trail system in order to access the downtown and all the amenities we have there. And that will continue as we continue to obtain grants and other funding to do these things. I do want to mention something we did 2 years ago. We did adopt a 10-year mobility plan, and a lot of the projects we're talking about, these roadways, improvements, and these things, are part of that plan. And a 10-year mobility plan is a goal to implement everything in that list over the next 10 years. We're also in the midst of the first complete update of our comprehensive plan, which will provide a great guide to those seeking to develop in Plainfield. Parts of our current plan date back all the way to the early 2000s and are simply not in tune with the current post-crash COVID economy. We hope to have this completed this year, and for those who aren't understanding maybe what a comprehensive plan is, it's a map of what we envision the future development of Plainfield to look like, and it's a great tool for developers and realtors to say, hey, they're looking for retail here, they're looking for some housing here. But you have to update it more than every 20-some-odd years. It's been updated in parts, but this will be the first full update, which we hope to have completed this year. I told you I'd mention your name, Austin, but Austin Stipp, who's been working very hard in our village, along with the plan department, have been working hard on assessing our commitment to sustainability and green initiatives. Ashton and staff and I had a meeting last week, and very impressive. She has assessed what we are doing currently that represents green initiatives and sustainability types of things like how we do our lighting and what kinds of things we do. And we're also looking on how we can have incentivize and encourage development to use these kinds of green initiatives. We hope to have these recommendations wrapped up by the end of the year. We all have to do our part to sustain our planet and also ensure that what we ask of ourselves, development, and our residents is also economically reasonable. It's exciting to note that so much can be done that is cost neutral. including Dark Sky Initiatives, Ms. Sula, if you're out there somewhere. I have this last category as the kind of community happenings. These aren't full of statistics, and I know, and you probably, if you're still awake, because some of those statistics get dry, but we want you to know these things. But, you know, our community is more than just roads, buildings, and statistics. It's a place where we live, we raise our children, and we enjoy all of our local recreational opportunities. We were recently blessed with a donation of land located at Route 30 and Route 59 on the south edge of the Old Town, which is serving to kick off the Plainfield Public Arts Council. And this triangle of land is where the old gas station was and the funeral home is, and that land was possibly going to be developed into more commercial space, but the landowner decided to donate it to the village. Public art is such an important part of our world. We see it in other towns and we admire it, and what a great start that is to what is going to be a 501c3 private organization that will promote permanent and temporary public art throughout the village of Plainfield. We had our initial meeting a couple weeks ago, and I have to say the creativity and passion from Plainfield residents really surprised me. I guess I shouldn't say surprised me, but I have this strong feeling that if you tap into 50,000 people, you're going to find artists, and you're going to find actors, and you're going to find people with knowledge, experience, and the passion and desire to provide all of this totality of the quality of our life. So we're really excited about that happening. I do have to mention something. Maybe I didn't have to mention it. I'd like to mention it, but last fall, we all mourned together as a community when the heinous murder of a young 6-year-old boy occurred in Plainfield. And while we mourn that loss yet today, we should take heart in how our community came together for the vigil. People of all faiths, young and old, New Plainfield and Old Plainfield, came together and made a statement. This is who Plainfield now is, a diverse community that rejects hate and bigotry. Old Plainfield imparted us with one great, great gift, and that is an ongoing, strong sense of community. No matter how much we grow, no matter how new you are to a community, this great vibe of we're in this together pervades, and it remains. I've always been impressed with the talent and passion of our 50,000 residents. You only need to reach out, and you'll be surprised by the new people wanting to get involved and contribute their time and talents. As I look around this room, I see Old and New Plainfield. I see business owners who make their living here, organizational leaders, volunteers, developers, and those who invest in our community, a great diversity of people. And each of you is shaping the New Plainfield. Each of your actions contributes to who we are and who we will be. As we are experiencing a new golden age in our community's history, we are leaving no stone unturned as we strive to enhance every aspect of our quality of life here in Plainfield. As I've said, 50,000 people strong, all we have to do is tap into our talents. AI, ChatGPT are all wonderful new tools that humankind can utilize, but they have their limits, and they cannot replace the human touch, the nuances of our emotions, and our unique talents. I believe in our people, and I believe in each of you. I look at you and I think about all the events you've hosted that enrich our community. Party at the Pasture, from Ready, Set, Ride. I see Lisa in the back there, coming up June 1st again. What a wonderful program Lisa has, therapeutic horse riding for children in need. Pride Fest, the Pride Gala, services to help our children navigate their growth. We had our first Juneteenth celebration last summer, and we hope to see that again. The YMCA, you contribute so much to our community. Allen Force, Don is here somewhere. Allen Force serves our veterans and with all sorts of programs. We had a little music session a couple weeks ago, which was kind of fun. We have an F3 group of warriors, but they keep asking me to come work out with them, but I cannot get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to carry cinder blocks around town. It's just too much for me. We've had so many ribbon cuttings for so many new businesses. Webb Chevy has contributed a lot with Ride with the Troops. Darcy's always on the list of donors to everything. Our own Ride with the Mayor. Ride with the Mayor, it's a free event, June 30th. It's not a race. You just have to pedal along and maybe like to drink a little beer when we get to the end of the thing. Our old traditional hometown homecoming parade, which has been around for a very long time. I'd say going on 80 years or so, and it's still a great community event. The Irish Parade is another great community event. I see Deb Olson there. She was a big part of starting that. And that's just grown bigger and bigger. DNA Lifestyle Center does the 1 mile fun run before that, and Where are you, Kathy Crawford? She tried to kill me Tuesday night by pacing me on my run, but I survived it. We have movies and concerts in the park. I know Amy DeBoni works hard from the village on that. We have music around town and all sorts of venues every weekend. Plainfield Neighbors, Tracy's here, putting together a community magazine, programs at our library, our park districts, our forest reserve. We have some religious leaders in attendance today, Community Christian, Al-Aqsa Mosque are here today. And I know I can't mention all of you, but just from what I mentioned, think of that diversity and all these different organizations and people that contribute programs, fun events, serious events, helping our souls and bodies in every way. And that really put together is greater than the sum of its parts. I do have to mention, coming this Christmas, we will have a storefront window decorating contest where we're going to have a competition among all the storefronts and let all the residents vote on whose storefront did the best. I'm hoping for an old school Marshall Fields, Macy's kind of event here. So we'll see how our storefront, downtown storefronts step up to the task here. And we will have the first ever production from our community theater group of A Christmas Carol held at Plainfield Central High School. I don't know if you like the idea of the Christmas Carol or you just want me to stop talking, but I'm almost there. Glenn Wood, again, has been instrumental in helping us secure the Plainfield Central High School auditorium for that weekend, and we've had some really fun ideas. I know one of our groups says we're going to approach a lot of the restaurants where they'll be selling dinner and a show tickets, and you can go to dinner at 5 o'clock, have a seating, and get to the show by 7. Our hometown, Plainfield, has a vibrancy and vigor that is the envy of our neighbors, and it's mostly because of you, and it's because of what each of you do to contribute to our town. Looking forward to 2025, I got to kind of get back on the script here. The Village and Census Bureau will be conducting a special census. Due to the village's growth, we are estimating that we have gained more than 4,500 new residents since the 2020 census, which would bring us up to approximately 50,000 people. With the estimated population and the current Illinois state revenue per capita, we anticipate we will bring in an additional revenue of $1.16 million annually based upon our numbers. The census will begin in March, and we need your help to ensure the most accurate population count, so be sure to watch out for details on how to participate. Finally, I'd like to conclude today's presentation with kudos. Another kudo for our police department, who surpassed their goal and raised more than $21,000 for Special Olympics. Be sure to join them at their Cop on the Rooftop fundraiser at Duncan on May 17th and the Torch Run on June 6th. On May 27th, we will celebrate Memorial Day in Settlers Park with a parade and ceremony. Amy wrote this for me, but she took it right out of my mouth. It is one of my favorite events of the year. I think Settlers Park is a beautiful spot in our town. The monuments, together with the dignity of our American Legion and how they conduct this ceremony honoring those who died in the service of their country, you all should be there. You should just try to make an effort to be there for this moment. It is usually in the morning, about 10 or 11 a.m. You're done by noon, so you can go on to your barbecues all afternoon, but take a moment that day to come to Settlers Park for this ceremony. This summer, we welcome back cruise nights in June, always a fun time on a Tuesday nights. The Riverfront Foundation has brought back Plainfield Fest. That's coming back on June 28th through the 30th. We're also welcoming a brand new event coming July 27th, the Borrow Fest, which will be a Hispanic festival with food, music, dancing, and artisans. Again, the Ride with the Mayor is June 30th. So there's a lot going on this summer, much more than this, I'm sure, that I can't quite remember. So, as I said, one person can only do so much, and while I play my role, each of you do as well. We are greater than the sum of our individual efforts, and we, together, are creating the best Plainfield. I cannot thank you enough for joining me today. It's an exciting time in Plainfield, and I look forward to sharing updates with you as we move forward. I will mention there's a whole bunch of food in the kitchen. We're going to open that door, so I hope you kept your appetite. That board is the name of the caterer, Tess. She does a fabulous job, so I hope you brought your appetites with you. The bars are open. We have another bar, that outdoor small building is another bar, an outdoor bar, if you want to hang out in there as well. The only thing is, Glenn says that we have to be out by midnight, so that's the only admonition we have. So, anyhow, I really thank you all for being here. I thank you for supporting the Village of Plainfield, and not only here, but what you do every day in our town to help make this the best Plainfield. Thank you.